You could have the best business in the world and still have nobody know you exist. That's the quiet thing that kills most solo businesses. It's not that the product is bad. Sometimes it's a product people genuinely want. It's just nobody ever sees it. Just invisibility. In business school, this got drilled into us. So basically, people have this idea that if you build it, they will come. But this has killed more businesses than people care to admit. Building the thing isn't enough. You have to let people know it exists. But here's what's changed, and thank goodness, you no longer need a marketing team or an ad budget to get seen. These are the AI marketing tools I actually used to grow my business completely solo. So stick around because number 4 is the one I'd set up first if I was starting today. Let's get into it. If we haven't met, I'm Efwa. I help women use AI as leverage to build a profitable business without a big team, without a big budget, and without giving up their life. I put out new videos every Thursday. Okay, so tool 1, the one that makes everything else easier. Tool 1 is Claude, your copywriter. Marketing is mostly words, captions, hooks, emails, the thing that makes someone stop scrolling because they relate to exactly what you're saying. But the blank page is where most people quit because there's nothing more stressful than trying to find the perfect combination of words to basically say, please buy my thing. Claude is never stressed. Claude never gives you a blank page. And here's the truth. Most people don't need more ideas. They need a way to turn one idea into 20 pieces of content without spending their whole weekend doing it. I use Claude to brainstorm content ideas, write captions in my voice, turn one thought into a week of posts. But the trick, and this is what makes a difference, is feeding it your voice. Paste in something you actually wrote, tell it to match your tone, and it stops sounding like a robot and start sounding like you. That's your copywriter handle, so now let's make it look good. Tool 2 is Canva, your designer. And I've said this before in previous videos, you've probably already heard of Canva, you probably are already using it, but Canva AI is where it's really at. So you type what you want and it designs it. You turn one graphic into 10 formats automatically without having to look for it or look for this feature. Where do I find this feature? Just type it in. And the look that makes a small brand look established is to set your colors and fonts once in your brand kit. And everything you post will stay consistent because consistent visuals are how strangers start to recognize you. And that's how invisibility ends. I go deeper on this and the next tool in module 1 of my mini course called Build Your AI Team, and it's linked below. But getting seen isn't enough. You need somewhere to keep those people, and that's tool 3. Tool 3 is your email engine. Here's the marketing mistake almost everyone makes. They pour everything into chasing followers, but let me tell you this, followers don't pay your bills. You don't even own them. The platform does. One algorithm change and they're gone. Your email list, that's yours forever. And it converts better than social every single time. I use Kit to capture people who find me, send them my newsletter, and I stay in front of my audience automatically. Social media, it gets you seen. But email is how you turn seen into a business. So speaking of getting seen, the next tool is the one I'd set up first if I was starting today. Tool 4 is Descript, and this is it. The one I'd prioritize over everything else. And here's why. The hardest part of marketing solo isn't making content. It's making enough of it to actually get seen. Descript solves that. So basically you record one video and it helps you slice and dice it into clips, shorts, audio, quote, graphics, the whole 9 yards. A whole week of content from one recording. So the way it works is by editing your video by editing text. It strips away your filler words, cleans your audio, and best of all, you don't need any editing skills. So if you want to repurpose your content and still look professionally edited, this is your tool. One piece of effort multiplied across multiple platforms, and that's how one person stays visible everywhere at once. And that's why it's number 1 on my list, even though it's tool 4 in this video. But anyway, now we move on to consistency. Tool 5 is a scheduler. I've used Buffer, but honestly, any good scheduler works. The point is this, you batch your content once, load it in, and it posts for you all week. Because the secret to marketing isn't going viral. It's just showing up consistently when you don't feel like it. A scheduler makes consistency automatic so your visibility doesn't depend on your mood or your memory. So look at what you've got right now. You've got Claude, your copywriter, Canva, your designer, Kit, your email marketer, Descript, your editor, Buffer, your scheduler. That's not a tech stack, that's a marketing department. And you built it solo with no salaries to pay. Now, if you want me to actually walk you through setting these up and building your first AI team step by step, I made a free mini course called Build Your AI Team. It's just 3 short videos and the link is below in the description. Go grab it. And you'll notice I keep mentioning Claude. Here's the thing, everyone defaults to ChatGPT. Maybe that's changing, but it was definitely a ChatGPT game for a while. But you might have noticed I've barely mentioned it here, and that's on purpose. Why? Because it's not what I reach for on the most important work of my business. I use Claude and I think it's better. I'll tell you exactly why in my next video. You can watch that one next. Subscribe for a new video every Thursday and see you in the next one. But remember, you don't need a team or a big budget. You just need leverage, and AI is your leverage. Keep building and keep it casual. See you next one.